Mit's aim. And it is a TikTok Tuesday redone. Yeah, I had a Teams call yesterday. Used my handy dandy little USB microphone here. Didn't have any problems with it. Did not realize that it was off. Actually, let's double check now. Make sure it's on. It is on. Sorry if it makes a bunch of weird noise. So I connected and reconnected. Did not realize that it had turned itself off or it had lost power, one of the two. I'm not sure. I charged it last night. Disadvantages of going live. You don't catch the mistakes until after the fact. So yesterday, I talked a lot about AI, mostly. Brought up the fact that, I could, any given week, talk about cybersecurity. I can go look something up and find something. There's always something out there. So always be careful about what you're clicking on. Make sure that it's supposed to be there, so, or that you're expecting it, like an email, etc. If in doubt, give the person a call and ask them if they called you. So that'll be my cyber bit for today. Wanted to pivot mostly to AI. Started thinking about what I should be talking about, what type of content I should be doing here. And besides cyber, right? And for AI, there's a couple of things too, right? But I thought I'd do a quick brief update on how we're using AI in our business or what we're doing for AI on the weekly, right? So a couple of weeks ago, I stood up a couple of AI agents to start acting as employees. That is still a work in progress. Yay, it always is. And so, that's what we're looking to do, right? Is to ask AI what personnel we should have, what would make us a world-class provider, and how do we fill the gaps with AI, right? If I charged everybody $300 a seat, I'd hire people to fill these positions, but that's just not the market we're in at this point in time. So we're looking to supplement with AI, mostly positions that will not be client-facing, back-end work, back office type work, right? Free up my text to do other things, like help our clients as a real person. So I think AI has its place. I definitely believe that people want to talk to people and want some empathy, and that's just something that AI doesn't do. It fakes it, kind of, right? I'm sure it will get better as we go, just because it's a self-improving model. But big thing I wanted to make sure that people understood with AI and implementing it in the business, because I'm all about it, is making sure that you are following the 4 Ps for AI, right? You want to make sure that you're documenting your processes. You want to make sure you're looping in the right people for this. You want to pick a platform. You don't want everybody just choosing which AI tools they want to use in your business. You want some homogeneousness, something. You want everybody on the same page, right? And then the final thing, and probably most important, is the plan, right? Don't just go deploying AI without some type of plan. And that's where we come in. That's what we're for, right? There are lots of AI consultants out there. And yes, I'm old and I like air quotes. There are lots of AI consultants out there who will just inundate you with tools, right? You need this tool, you need that tool, you need this tool. Tools are great. They help you get your work done, right? But at the end of the day, I go to a GC, I want to build a house, right? I start with an architect, I start with a plan. I go to the GC to get things done, and he hires all the bits and pieces, the electricians, the plumbers, the framers, the flooring guys, the masonry, whatever, right? And how they do their job is really no concern of mine, right? At the end of the day, I want my house. So that's what a good AI consultant should be talking about, is how do we get you your house, right? How do we build the house? Well, more importantly, what is your outcome, right? It's the house, and a schedule, right? Most people want a schedule. I don't want it 10 years from now. I'd like it next year. So again, four P's, right? We're talking about processes, people, platform, and a plan. Um, I should probably start with plan first, but honestly, the platform will be part of the plan, right? And then the people will help drive the plan, and the processes will help drive the plan. So, in a little bit of AI news, kind of. I don't know if you've been keeping up with some of the stuff going on out there, but Claude rolled out some new tools. About 2 weeks ago, they rolled out, maybe three. They rolled out, Claude for Legal, to help lawyers and law firms get connected with their software and help them become more efficient. So if you're in the legal space, it's something you should look at, certainly, and look into more in depth. And then just last week, Claude rolled out tools for SMB. So being the trailblazer that I am, I went into Claude. And now this is specifically for Claude Cowork. And you can only get Claude Cowork if you have a paid subscription. So it's like $20 a month per person. And you can connect up. There might not have been 100 different connectors already pre-built in there, but there were several, right? They had stuff to CRMs like HubSpot, I think Salesforce. They had accounting connections to like QuickBooks, certainly. I want to say maybe Xero or Mind Your Own Business might have been one, but there were several different connectors. Adobe was in there. Canva was in there. I know I connected that. And so with that and those tools connected, you can query CoSpace for or Cowork, sorry, for reports. Like if you're horrible at building reports in QuickBooks, you can't figure out which report gets you what data. Now QuickBooks is probably one of the better ones about providing good stock reports that you're wanting to run your business. But if you have other software that you connect up and you need to know what's going on, in our case, it's how many tickets did we close yesterday, right? The software we use has some predefined built-in templates or reports. Not the easiest in the world to find or locate, and then generating new ones is difficult, to say the least. So with Claude, I can go in there and ask it these questions, and it can pull that type of data out. So that's basically what you're looking at. I have not tested the right abilities of Claude Cowork. Like, my CPA wants to change up my chart of accounts a bit, but we've held off because of the amount of work that's involved. This would be an example where AI could do something like that, right? But before I do something like that, I got to make sure we have a backup copy, and then try it out. And if it doesn't work, then restore back to what we had. So again, AI, start with your pain points, right? That's probably the biggest place that I tell somebody to start. If you're doing onesie, twosie things, right? Which is what we started. That's how we started off. Is find your biggest friction points. You as the business owner, I'm sure you have things that you'd rather be doing other than some of the things you're having to do, right? You've got multiple hats, right? And maybe accounting is one of the things you have to deal with, but you don't like dealing with it. So that's something it could help out with. It can do, it must be able to write, because I want to say I read an article or I read something in Claude that had said that it could help you, reconcile and close out your books at the month end, right? So that's a job currently that my CPA's firm does with one of their bookkeepers. So possibly something that could be changed in the future for us. And they are outsourced; they're not employees. So I feel a little guilty, but not as guilty as if they were employees if I was replacing them. So trying to think if there's anything else of interest for AI. I have not seen anything else lately. Just, use AI wisely. Hopefully, I didn't ramble as much as I did yesterday. I did catch myself rambling several times. I was on the actual tractor, which is over there, but it's later in the day. It's 4:00 in the afternoon, and the sun's angles low enough that it hits me directly, and it's hot. Oh, and the other thing was too, it got my phone so hot that it shut itself down after being in the sun. So that's why I'm where I am now, because I'm in the shade. My camera's in the shade, my phone's in the shade, so it should be all right. So anyhow, I've rambled enough for today. A reminder, cybersecurity starts with you, right? And with AI, cooks are getting better at doing their jobs with AI. Yeah. They probably fought with 4Ps as well. Just want to remind you, cybersecurity starts with you. Aim higher, work smarter, and hopefully I will talk to you next Tuesday with audio the first time and not have to do a second broadcast. So have a great rest of your Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. It's almost quitting time on Wednesday. So I'll talk to you guys next week. Peace.